Hi everyone. Today I'm gonna be talking about the theories of episode 9 of Digital Circus. Now, if I haven't shown you this already, I changed my mm, how do you say it in English? I change my PC background as well as my phone background each time a new TDC episode releases. So this is the background of both my PC and mobile phone. Uh, Now that episode 8 has released, and in my mobile phone, since you can put all the entire image, I make the image be centered on Jax because he's my favorite character. If you haven't noticed already. So yeah, so today I'm gonna be talking about what should actually be the mm, the what should actually be like the main topic of this channel, because my channel is called like my name TDC. So if in this channel I should mostly talk about TDC and maybe sometimes also some of my other interests, but at the same time I'm kind of free to do whatever I want, and you can't really stop me from doing that. But I still like TDC, so we are gonna be talking about that. Just yeah, just ignore all this stuff. We are just gonna be searching TDC episode 9 trailer, because obviously this one has release. So this is a trailer. So, I'm actually gonna do this. I'm gonna control. Is it recording? Yes, it is recording. Now, this is gonna be a quick video because I'm just simply gonna state my opinions about some TDC theories. So what can I do? I'm gonna be doing this. I'm gonna be here, and I'm gonna be creating here. I'm gonna call it TADC episode 9 theories now analysis. Here we have it. All right. So let's begin with what theory? Let's begin with. Okay, I heard now. This is the main one. So one of the more popular theories now are Jax will become the next circus host slash villain. Now, there are people saying that this is likely. So let's analyze the trailer actually, because of course I gotta explain why are people thinking that Jax could be the villain in the next episode. We are gonna be analyzing just that. So the fact is that now this is because there are some shots in the trailer where Jax has this like really creepy smile. Mm,
I don't know what's gonna happen.
and Jax also looks really mysterious in the trailer as a whole. There's also this, and now I don't think this is but there are other
What do
shots.
we do now? I
Let's see.
really wanted to help.
Now there are other shots here as well. Now this one, yeah, Jax just looks really
Jax?
mysterious here. And then there's obviously the whole review thing, but I think what really, like, just 2 seconds about Jax having that creepy smile, as well as the thumbnail as a whole, made people think that Jax could become the next, the villain of the series as a whole. I'm gonna be stating my opinion. I think that, as always, by the way, because this has been the case in in all the latest episodes, it has been the case with episode 7, it has been the case with episode 8, and these episodes, they did have their fair share of traumatic moments, but honestly, for me, they weren't as traumatic as people highlighted them to be, before the episode release, and we just had the trailer. So I think that, as always, Gooseworks and Glitch are simply putting panic in us fans as usual. Now, sure, Jax will for sure, Jax will for sure have some not so great moments, mostly in mental health, because Jax is just for Jax, mental health isn't even a thing anymore. I really feel so bad for Jax. It really reminds me how it used to be in the past. I'm not meaning that in a negative way, by the way. I I never did anything to the extent of Jax, I promise. So, Jax will for sure have some not so great moments, mostly in mental health. Wait, I'm gonna actually say this mostly when it comes to mental health, since it's not gonna be all sunshine and rainbows. Also, considering how the latest episode has ended, obviously, but I don't think him becoming a villain is in the realm of possibility. I think he'll just keep going crazy and keep losing his mind like he has been doing in all these last episodes, but he will never allow himself to become a emotionless villain. He will feel extre- extremely guilt about it. Jax still has feelings and emotions, even if he tries the hardest to put those down. I'm actually a firm believer in Jack's redemption arc. For me, him becoming villain will be bad writing, mm, and stripping strip. For me, him becoming villain will be bad writing, and it will also strip him of his humanity, good work, and the cast also said that TADC is a lot more hopeful than I think it's written like this in names in general. Am I'm actually gonna stick to that belief. So with this, I'm also just gonna completely throw out the window the whole theory of Jax ends up pushing Kinger in the void, or Jax ends up in the void. I mean, I already explained why I don't think Jax would push Kinger in the void. Like, honestly, I didn't even know about this theory until Lemau pointed it out. If you don't know who is Lemau, you know, is this YouTuber here. He made a short about the theory, you know. Uh, Before I didn't even know the whole theory about Jax pushing Kinger in the void existed. So I think that just shows that, you know, it doesn't make sense. At least for me, obviously. And now, so yeah, so this is the main theory now. What other theories are about episode 9? Mm, let's see. Now, I mean, this is the main one I wanted to discuss, and I really written a really great opinion, if I'm being honest. Great in terms of like size, then it's up to you if you think this is a good opinion or not. Then there's also then there's also no, I'm trying to think, okay, like I don't know, I'm just having the fear that, you know, that some of my parents are just gonna open up the door, you know, I don't want them to like interrupt the video that I'm recording. I didn't even told them that I'm recording, so yeah, I just don't want this video to be ruined, if I'm being honest. Like I'm not gonna stop it just because they interrupted. Like I don't want to do this all over again, okay? But so I mean, this was like the main theory, and for the most part, that's really it, if I'm being honest. Now, there's also another theory. Now, this isn't really a theory. This is more like a belief that has been going on ever since episode 3, ever since episode 4. But Angela gonna correct it. One of the characters will abstract. Why does okay? One of the characters will abstract. My opinion. And by the way, I think that my opinion is just simply stating facts. If I'm being honest, at least for me. Um, I think that the world um, one of them will end up abstracting thing will end up abstracting thing is just a belief that some fans made out of nowhere without any real solid evidence, and it just ended up becoming a repeating cycle and trend in this fandom. So yeah, I think that well, one of them will end up extracting thing is just a belief that some fans made out of nowhere without any real solid evidence, and it just ended up becoming a repeating cycle and trend in this fandom. I mean, they thought they can go abstract in episode 4. She came close to that, but in the end it didn't happen. They thought that maybe Ragata will abstract in episode 5. It didn't happen. Maybe Jax will abstract in episode 6. It didn't happen. Episode 6, I don't think he was even attracting. It was more like a panic attack at the end of episode 6. Episode 7, Jax will abstract. He came close to, but thankfully Pomni saved him. I love Funny Bunny so much. Okay? Then episode 8, I mean, maybe they said something about, I don't know, Jax, as always, but it didn't happen. I think yes, there. I think people have been right only episode 8 because people predicted that for episode 8, Kane will end up becoming villain. I don't think a good majority of the fans predicted that Kane will have sort of died. So probably some people did, but the most popular view was that Kane, you know, will end up becoming the villain. That happened, but you know, with Kane is a whole different story. If I'm being honest, you know, Jax and the characters are just another thing. Like mm, once again, just the fact that Goosebumps and the voice cast as have said that TADC is a lot more hopeful in general. I don't know. It really just makes me like believe that none of them will abstract. Like, I mean, I don't think there's any solid evidence. Sure, they're all like just completely shocked by what happened with Kane, but I mean, they're probably gonna be together in this. I think maybe episode 9 will mostly be about flashbacks. Like I think that maybe like the characters, since they don't know what to do anymore, they're just like gonna end up telling each other's story. It's the story of each and every one of them. And maybe after they tell all their stories, they'll try to solve their differences. Maybe Jax will apologize to the others. No, like I don't really like theorizing in general, also because I had my fair share of bad experiences with this fandom. I plan writing an essay about that, after episode 9 releases. When I mean after episode 9 releases, now I like to go see it at the cinema, but I'm not gonna spoil it. I'm not gonna spoiler it. I'm not gonna spoil it, so don't worry about that. And if I publish the essay, I'll publish it, after all the fans have been able to watch episode 9 as well, even the ones that couldn't go to the cinemas. So after June 19th. So yeah, after that day, I will probably publish the essay. I don't know where, but I will publish it because I think it will be a really interesting essay. It could, highlight problems that fandoms have in general, so not just the TADC fandom. So, it will make people it will make people be more aware about these issues, and now, you can, now we're not gonna really go deep into it, but I did talk about this with certain YouTubers I trust. Maybe some of these YouTubers I even tag them like in the posts I make in the community section, I guess. And I'm not gonna tell names, don't worry. And so yeah, and I never really being a person that likes to theorize in general. Like I just like going with the hype and just waiting for whatever will happen in the next episode, which is also mostly the case here in episode 9, because you can probably see that like the theory that I had was just like maybe they're gonna tell stories of each other, maybe each other's flashbacks, and then they'll just like be able to understand each other's differences, and they'll try like to come together as a as a united and complete team, and maybe with that they'll be able to finally find their meaning in this stagnant life and without King and Bubble, unfortunately. So I don't think they'll come back, but I do believe the fandom believe in theory that they may come back in one of the characters' flashbacks, if not all of the characters' flashbacks. I'm not sure if it's gonna be just one of the characters' flashback or more than one of the characters' flashbacks, if not all of the characters' flashbacks. But for sure, Kenny and Bubble will appear in at least one of the characters' flashbacks. In the characters' flashbacks as well, Kenny and Bubble will probably appear once again. But in the present, I don't think they're coming back. I just don't know what can be done to bring them back. Like, I'm really sorry for all the Kane fans. I'm really sorry. Like, I understand your pain, because if Jax would have had an ending similar to Kane in one of these last episodes, I would have crashed out and I would have never done anything in my life ever again. So I can understand your pain, Kane fans. So I think this is all that I had to say. I just like brought up like the two most popular, like if you watch things about TDC and you explore its fandom, the two most important things that you're gonna see, or like the two most popular things, beliefs and theories that you're gonna see, is just these two. Jax will become the next Seeker's house slash villain. One of the characters will abstract. These are like the two most important ones in the fandom, and I think I just like expose them and unmask them, in my opinion, because for me, like this doesn't really hold any evidence. Like you can believe what you want, but for me, this just don't make sense. It's just Guzworth and Glitch trying to put panic in us as usual, and I'm not gonna fall into that. Like, sure, there are gonna be traumatic moments. There's gonna be not so really great stuff. We're probably gonna be surprised by some of the stuff, but fandoms and fans, as usual, really like exaggerate stuff. They overreact, and that's just how internet works. They want to put panic in us when in reality it's never as serious or as bad as it was shown to be. Even if it could still be a little bit serious, a little bit bad, that's for sure. So yeah, we know this is how fandoms are, and we just have, to learn to convive with this. You know, I tend to like go into parts of the TAD fandoms, only the parts that I like and enjoy. So maybe you should, I don't know, do that as well. I mean, if you ain't a masochist, which I really hope you aren't, because you're like wanting to have pain. Like, I don't know if that's a really good thing. Yeah, now I'm just like going psychology mode and trying to be a therapist. I don't know if I will be able to be good at that in IRL. Yeah, you see, I'm just like going out of the point of this video. So, maybe I should end it because otherwise you're just gonna end up hearing me ramble about other stuff that isn't really TDC related. So, yeah, this was, my opinion and analysis uh, of the episode 9 theories. I hope you enjoyed it. I'm gonna find people who don't agree with this, but I also like to find people who agree with this. I mean, even if I don't find them, it's okay, because it's my opinion at the end of the day. The important is that, I believe in this opinion, and that I'm not gonna let others, judge this opinion of mine. Uh, but I think this is all that I, had to say. So I hope you enjoyed. I hope you enjoyed it. I may also make other TDC stuff, because I really have to catch up with all TDC things over in my channel. So I hope you enjoyed this. I just hope that. So what can I say? Bye.